Hey, welcome back to Esther's Breeze, where we sit back, chat, and shoot the breeze. A big thank you to Jenny DeHame. A thank you to Robert D'Alessio, who is my mentor and good friend, to publicist extraordinaire, Mr. Steve Joyner, and to my partner in crime and our techie, Mr. Fernando Renzo. Esther's Breeze is available on Facebook and on Esther's Breeze YouTube channel and on Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel as well. The audio then gets extracted and we upload it to Spotify and to all other streaming platforms. Today's guest, I'm so excited. I met her backstage. She is lovely. She is gorgeous and she's a brilliant, brilliant woman. And I cannot wait for you to meet her. Let's introduce Dr. Stone Love. She is a motivational speaker, essayist, personal coach, and faith powered global seminar presenter. Her first book, Decision Time: How Strength Based Decision Making Changes Everything, which she wrote in 2015, is the primary source for her mentoring and motivational practice. With Now I Am Her, the woman I've always been but had never known, Stone Love shares her love and her own results from practicing the vulnerability and the rigor she encourages in her readers. In this particular book, I Am Her, she deals with subjects such as childhood sexual abuse, mental health care, love, forgiveness, weight loss, and death. She's also a proud mother of 6 and a grandmother, wait for it, of 19. Wait till you see what she looks like. Stone Love enjoys fitness, gardening, travel, and cooking, fine cuisine, etc. She lives in the San Francisco Bay Area with her husband of 30 years. Let's bring her on. Hey, how are you?
I'm just fine. How are you?
Oh, I am great. Thank you so much. Yes, I 19 grandchildren. How is that possible?
Well, we have five daughters and one son, and lots of children when you have five daughters.
I can very well imagine. So let's talk about 2011. You wrote an essay for an anthology for a book called Amazing Women. And you decided to do a story that was very personal and what you refer to as the deep family secret. Now, what made you want to tell that story at that time and what impact did it have in your life?
Well, the book the book was called Amazing Woman, What's Your Story? And my coach at the time, she had asked me, would I be interested in being in an anthology? And that she wanted me to write the most transformational story of my lifetime. I said, I'd love to. Let me think about it. Let me think about what story I'd like to share, and I'll get back to you. And this one story kept popping into my head. It indeed was the most transformational story of my lifetime, but it was a story that I couldn't tell. It was a story that I had rarely shared. I didn't even tell my mother until I was over 21. So she called me back again. She said, Stone, have you gotten the story that you'd like to share? And I said, I must tell you that there is one story that comes to mind, but I can't tell that story. And she says, why not? I said, well, it's a deep secret. It involves my family. I just can't tell that story. And she says, okay, will you tell me the story? So I did. And she said, oh, Stone, you've got to tell that story. You've got to tell that story. And from 2011 to 2022, I still get the chills remembering what she said because she was so right. That was not only my secret, I felt it was all of our secret. So many people had shared that same experience or some variation thereof. And it is a story that needs to be told. It is a story that should be spoke about in families, among friends, everything, because it happens to, well, everybody that we know knows somebody, if it's not themselves, that it has happened to as well.
Yeah, no, you're very correct, and in fact, you had a memory of something that happened to you when you were 5 years old and something that happened with your close cousins.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's your first book, Decision Time. And what sparked, you had a certain memory of it. Was there a certain incident that happened in your life later on that brought back the memory of what happened to you when you were 5?
You know, it wasn't one particular memory that caused me to think about it. I actually felt that I was really good at stuffing it down. I was overeating. I was over talking. I was overspending. So all of those kind of things are signs that there's something that you need to deal with. And I just continued. I had a lot on my plate. I was raising my children. I was working. I was being a wife. I was trying to know myself. I was doing a lot. So there were many places to layer that story under, but it shows up.
Yeah.
It showed up in my blood pressure. Like I said, all of the overindulgent, it shows up. So this is something that we need to deal with.
So, what led you to write your first book, Decision Time? How strength-based decisions, making changes in everything, that you wrote in 2015?
Yes, I am so proud of that book, Decision Time: How Strength-Based Decision Making Changes Everything. I had to write that book because I was the result of that work. I had toured. I even came to Canada. Was one of the places that I spoke from the stage. Um, but quite frankly, I was tired of telling that story because I didn't feel like I was offering a solution. I felt like I was scratching open wounds that I wouldn't be there to help close. So I thought I need to reverse engineer, think about what happened, think about how I became the woman I am today, and think of what I can put together to share that with others, to encourage their healing. So that's where decision time came from, making a decision to find the strength within yourself, and it will change everything about your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a quote in one of your books where you talked about that how we have to lead with intuition, and that's sort of our first wave of how we think things out. Tell us about that. I love that you said that.
Yes, I've always heard follow your first mind. You know, I've heard that, but my experience has been every time my intuitive voice speaks to me, it never leads me wrong. Never. It could be as simple as it's time to go now.
Yeah.
And you'll argue with you like, no, but everybody's having such a good time. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what energies are going to come and affect you. So, just thinking back on my own experience with my intuition and realizing it has never led me wrong. And I have never spoken to anybody that said, my first mind told me to do that and I didn't do it and I was right. No one has ever said that. They've always said, my first mind told me. They refer to their intuition as their first mind or something told me. And when they followed it, they said, I'm so glad I missed that. I missed meeting a person. I missed a catastrophe, whatever. And sometimes you may never know the reason that voice said it's time to go. Or you may never know when that voice says, okay, don't say anything else, but it's right. And so I have learned to obey that voice,
Yeah.
intuition. Yeah. I don't always, but I know that I am not to argue or try to rationalize or bargain with. I should just follow. And I am in heavy practice of that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one 100%. So, what led you to become a personal coach? What what was the process of that?
The process was because we were promoting the book, and we did a tour from Philadelphia to San Diego, up, like I said, to Toronto. And the thing that really surprised me was after my story, people would stand in line to talk to me. And I'd be like, wow, and I'd really like to, I need to tell you, Stone, I resonate with your story and I'd like to talk to you further. And I was giving out my phone number to all of these people.
Really?
Yes. And I was
That's
on
a
the
little crazy.
phone
Yeah.
talking to them. And it was my son, Princeton. He said, Mom, who are all these people you're talking to? I said, "Well, I'm helping them." And, he's like, "Are you their coach or what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm actually ministering to them. Their story really relates to mine, and I'm trying to help them with it." And it was my son that encouraged me to really take this seriously and put some form to my teaching, to study a bit more. I had gone to years of counseling to the point where I was an aide to a counselor, and I
Wow.
was helping, excuse me, with all of the various stories around sexual abuse. So I decided I'm gonna do this because there's so many people that need the help. So many people are where I was, and I want to help them to at least where I am. So I felt with the knowledge that I had, it would just be a sacrilege for me not to share it, for me not to encourage the healing.
I agree, and I think a lot of individuals who have experienced abuse as a child, they sort of disassociate themselves from that child that they were, and bury those feelings and those emotions so deep, and in fact, it does affect their lives, but they have no idea. And then there could be something that comes up, and it just sort of it's sort of like a flash of a memory, and it could be very detrimental, and you don't even understand what's happening yourself. And I could see where that could be so helpful to so many people, because I do believe a lot of people bury that, and a lot of people don't have memories of it, or they have vague memories that are almost dreamlike. And so the fact that you went out there and spoke about it,
Yeah.
that's incredible. And that from that, and people, and you were there for them, and you gave them your phone number. I mean, that just says, it describes the kind of person you are. You're there for people. You're sort of there to serve.
Okay.
And that's just who you are. And even having met you backstage, you could just see that, that light that you have. So
Okay.
yeah, kudos to you. And so your new book, Now I Am Her, and I know it's a very long name, so I'm just going to refer to it as Now I Am Her. So let's talk about that, because I read about 60 pages. And what I liked about it was that you gave space for the individual's own work. It was like a workbook,
Oh,
and
wow.
that you ask those questions. So what is your family's dark secret, as an example, or what is your superpower? And I wanted to write, I was just, but I like I said backstage, there were some parts of the book that I found a little overwhelming emotionally, and it does elicit emotion, and I highly, highly recommend it to everyone, because it's, yeah, I'm even having goosebumps talking about it. But I love that you did that you had a chapter, and then you had pages as a workbook, so that the reader could then write out their story after listening to your story. So
Yeah.
how did that come to be? How did you decide to write it that way?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the compliment. The stories are very impactful, and I know that they are triggering. I think I said in the book that as I am writing this sentence, tears are rolling down my face. So it's even triggering for me, and I have lived it, and I am okay now, and it is still something that visits in a haunting way that I have to maintain control over. And I thought, since that happens for me, it must be true for some other people as well. So I wanted to give people an opportunity to process the information. You know, Now I am her, the woman I've always been but had never known. It's not a book to read cover to cover because the subject matter is so relatable. And again, you're digging up stuff, you know, and I thought that it would be great to have my readers write out what they were feeling. Of course, I won't be there to talk to them about how they feel about what they've just read, but most importantly, they're there with their own thoughts and they can write and get whatever healing. And I hope that, I share a story and I also share the upside of it. I tried not to leave people in a way, that they may be feeling about the story as it relates to their own life or someone that they love. So, yeah, I thought having the journal space in the back of the book would really serve them well.
And one of the stories that I read was where a gentleman approached you and you thought he was going to hit you because you had cut him off without realizing, and apparently he had a lot going on, inside, that he felt so like that you just left him there, and and you talk about what you think might have been going on with him, the child within, what was happening, and
Yeah,
you sort of pulled out your, I guess, your empathy card, like you knew, like, this is how I have to deal with this gentleman, and to also protect yourself. It was sort of a survival mechanism. And then and then at the end it's like, what's your superpower? And it
yeah,
got me, like, I wanted to write, like,
yeah,
okay, I think I have empathy too, and I think I make people laugh, and it's so like thought provoking. So it's not just a book, like I said, it's also a workbook. So I'm curious, how can we purchase the book?
You can go to my website. My website is decisiontimestonelove.com,
Okay.
and the Decision Time book is there, and also in the shopping cart, I Am Her is there.
Oh, wonderful.
You follow me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm Stonology underscore stone underscore love. And I have a little bit.ly link that you can go.
Right. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
No, that's really wonderful. So, in terms of writing in the future, what are your plans?
you know, there's so many stories that I didn't tell that I
Oh,
and it's really it's therapeutic for me too, to write this stuff out and to think about how I feel and versus how I would like to feel. You want to be come from a healed place. You want to be um, an adult about things. You don't want to be so affected. And I like to journal about those two spaces, how I actually feel and how I would like to feel. So I'd like to write a book like that. Like if this, then that. You know, if this happened to me, then who am I now, and who would I like to be? I'd like to write a book, something like that. So I have to think about it and flesh it out a little more, but that intrigues me. Yeah.
oh, it sounds interesting. I can't wait to read it. So, getting back to the first book, I actually wrote down this question that I wanted to ask you. So, what is making a strength-based decision as the title of your first book? Like, what exactly does that mean? A strength-based decision.
Mm. That means that you're not people pleasing. You're in
Okay.
your own power. You're not just saying yes to get along. You're saying yes to yourself. And oftentimes that means no to someone else. You're in your strength. Um, w- Traveling all over the world and talking to different women, the number one thing that I captured that prevents us all from reaching our full potential is we're not making a decision from our strength. We often make decisions from our fear, from a weaker place. Oh, I got to keep this job because it's a
Right.
recession. or whatever, or I got to stay in this marriage because no one else will love me. No, a strength based decision would be I got to leave this job because I'm overqualified and there is someone out there willing to pay me what I'm worth. You know, I got to leave this marriage because I have limited time on this planet and I need to be happy. So
Exactly.
so that's what I mean by strength-based decision, not from that weaker, scarcity, fear-based place, but from your own power, from your own initiative, your strength.
So I love that. And your website is called Stonology. So
Yes.
that brilliant. What does that mean?
You
Stonology.
you know what? Facebook actually gave me that name.
Okay.
I would write my little saying, some little quote that I'd made up, whatever I was feeling that morning, I would share it. And people would come to my page and they say, Stone, I love coming here in your little stonologies, And I said, oh, okay. And some people would say, oh, I love that stoneism, and the stoneology. I said, that is so cute. And it stuck with me. And I named my business Stoneology.
Okay. Love it.
It's really bringing out the brilliance in you. Um, that light you talked about. Thank you for that compliment.
It's truth.
Thank you. Um, it's shining that up. The study of your light is what it really means, and that's what it means to me. Um, you know, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Um, there's another quote that I wrote down. The quote is secrets are what allow emotional manipulation to manifest.
Mm.
Talk about that.
Whew. I believe that we need to recognize the pattern of manipulation because it's a grooming process, especially when we're talking about sexual abuse. Any kind of abuse, there is a grooming process. And I believe if we can recognize that pattern, we can stop the manipulation before it manifests into something horrible like abuse of any form. And if we look at it, we can see patterns. We can recognize patterns going back to an episode. Hmm, what happened just before that? What happened 3 months before that? And we can journal about that. And then we can lay that over different situations. It happens in the bedroom to the boardroom. People manipulate you to take advantage of you. And
Yes.
we can see those patterns. And most importantly, recognize the part we played in it. That goes back to the strength based decision making. Don't say yes when you mean no. You know, don't ignore that red flag. Don't ignore your intuition. Don't shut down that intuitive voice in yourself and participate because we have to know that we participate in our own manipulation because we go along with it. And the way out of that is to recognize the pattern. That's very different from fault.
Right.
I'm not saying fault. I'm saying what's our yes to it? Our yes could simply be, oh, yeah, I'll go to the party. We don't want to go to the party. We don't know the people at the party. The party is too far away. The party is out of our neighborhood. The party is unknown, but we said yes. So it can be as simple as that.
Hmm. I think more of us do it than we realize. So there's something else that you write about. You say that it's our decisions, not our circumstances, that define our quality of life. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Well, it's like, oh my God, it's raining today. I'm just so bummed about that. And it will be traffic and wetness and mud and slush. And oh, it just drains me. Or it's raining today. I can wear those red boots and some leggings and I can stay shut in and I can get in a warm blanket, a warm comforter. You know, we look at, we decide to look at the upside of things. We decide to find our comfort even in the realm of catastrophe. There is something there. As simple as it's raining, but I'm breathing on my own. I know all too well what that's like. My mother passed of congestive heart failure.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. It was very sunny days, and she still couldn't breathe as fully as she needed to on her own. So simple things like that, making a decision, that is what decides our quality of life, not the circumstance, not that it's raining. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I love that. I have one more. I'm sorry. As I was reading, I was making, I was very excited. So this one is, you say, I believe our view of others is a direct reflection of the views we have of ourselves. I feel like I'm dropping these nuggets, these golden nuggets of wisdom that you call stonology. So this is exactly what we're doing right now. But yes, so what did you mean by that? And I love that, by the way.
Well, what I mean is if I'm okay with me, I got to be okay with you. Because there are some days that I'm just not okay. I don't feel cute. I don't feel comfortable. I feel bloated, but that's okay. So when I see you experiencing your own humanness, that's okay. That's okay. You know, we can commiserate or not. But if I'm very self critical of myself, then I'm quick to point out your shortcomings. You know, I believe that when we're happy with ourselves, we can be happy with others, even if they're different from us.
Yeah, 100%.
And, I try to, because my mood starts with me, not with what happens. And I try to walk in. People have said, "Oh, Stone, I'm so glad you're here. You just, yeah." Well, I'm glad to be here, you know, and that comes out. If I was, that's a feeling too, and that's contagious. So I really believe if I'm okay with me, I'm okay with you. Yeah,
Wonderful. You've done a lot of traveling. I know you talk about traveling to Dubai and to Paris and the UK, but you've also traveled to Montreal.
I
So
have.
yeah, and that's where I'm from rather, and a lot of our viewers actually are from Montreal as well. So you've been here how many times?
I think about five. Yeah,
5 times.
yeah.
Okay. And are you do you know people in Montreal?
I do. One of my co-authors, Donna DeLuca, she lives in Montreal, and she had been inviting me to come to Quebec for 8 years. And I finally saw an opportunity to come, and I came. I came to see my friends perform at, they do a TV show at TVA, and it's a beautiful dance. And so I was able to come there and enjoy the place. I do love it, and I plan to come back.
Oh, that's great. So, on that note, we have a little surprise for you. We
Oh,
have a gentleman here from Montreal who you know, and he's in the studio, and we are going to bring him on.
okay.
Carol Pacaro. Surprise!
Hi.
You have to unmute, Charles. Your microphone is muted. Wait, it's still muted.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
You
Hello.
hear me now?
Yes.
How are
How
you?
are you? Surprise.
It's a wonderful surprise. Hello. Hello.
This has been so interesting. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we spoke about you before, Charles, and I didn't want to let on that I was going to surprise Stone by bringing you on. So
Oh, that's fine.
yeah. So
Charles is one of the people I was telling you that I'm going to come and spend time with. I was going to
Yeah.
spend time with him and his family, and I missed that. But Charles, I'm going to. We're going to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're waiting, and now you have more friends. It'll be a bigger party.
Yes. Yes.
that's a photo of the two of you together. So explain the relationship. How did you two meet?
Well, a very good mutual friend of ours, Kimberly Thornton, she's in the music industry. And as you can see by Charles's background, he is heavy into music. He makes his
Yes, we
own
know.
music. Yes. And she said, "You should meet my friend in Quebec." And I said, "Absolutely." And it's like, I totally forgot about, he's my friend, you know? And he said, "Yeah, we talked over Instagram." And when I came, though, he had a musical date somewhere else, so he wasn't in town. But we still talked. But the next time I came to Montreal, it was like 11 degrees, 11 below maybe. He picked me up from the hotel and we went out, had some onion soup, and just talked. He is just great, and he is truly my friend.
Thank
So,
you. Thank
yeah.
you.
Aw.
And you're awesome. You're awesome. And it's like I tonight you guys got to feed off of each other with the information. And I've read Decision Time, and
Mhm.
now I'm gonna start reading the new one. And there's it's, even though Stone has a greater impact with women, it helped me as well, because we all go through stuff like that. And
100%.
it's nice to know that there's books and that people such as Stone to inspire and maybe get us back on track sometimes with their words and their stonism, stonologies.
Yeah, the Stoneology. No, in all honesty, Charles, what I read, I was blown away by it. And I was telling Stone, I could only read so much at a time. And that's why I was thankful for the worksheets. So it gave me that break because it's a lot. And yes, it definitely could relate to either gender 100%. It's not just, a female oriented type book. It would work for, for all genders.
Absolutely. When I was in Toronto, I did a speaking engagement there. And I remember so vividly, this Chinese man came up to me, and he was just dressed so beautifully, is why I remember that he was Chinese. But the other thing is that he had a tear in his eye, and he said, "Thank you for telling my story."
Wow.
So I'll never forget him. And I'm so glad that I was able to touch him in that way and start him on his road to healing. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you see? Absolutely can go either way. Wonderful. So,
Charles!
yeah,
Yeah.
how long? So this connection, how long is have you known each other?
I don't know, 4 years, four
Yeah.
or five
Okay.
years. I met Kimberly through Instagram, because I
Okay.
was soliciting people that have credibility in the music industry, and Stone was also in the music industry way back.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Uh,
Little
Oh my
golden
yeah,
dragon.
goodness.
Yeah.
Is that yours? Well,
Yeah.
what is your
I,
are you a singer as well?
I worked on the marketing team for MC Hammer back in the day. And
Get
we,
can't
out
touch
of
this.
here. Can't touch that. Oh my
and
God.
and
Okay.
so Kimberly and I, like, once we became connected on Instagram, more than anything, we became really good friends, because we won't get into it because it's your show tonight, but I was with Whitney Houston with my old band,
Right.
and Kimberly worked for Whitney Houston, and she worked for Arista Records, and
Mhm.
so, like, I passed the okay, you're my friend kind of thing. You're not just bugging me, right? You're not, and musically, she started becoming more of a mentor
Hmm.
than and a friend, of course. And then one day we were laughing about something, and she introduced Stone to the conversation, and that was an instant friendship as well.
Mhm.
And it's just been that forever, since the day we met, on social media. So that there's the impact of meeting strangers on social media that can actually become friends. And I
100%.
have an old expression that I came up. I said, I don't make contacts, I make friendships.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
then there's so much to learn. Besides we toss the music aside, and just on friendships and the whole all the stuff that's been happening too. We discuss the Black Lives Matter and COVID and the United States with Canada, and
Yes.
just it's a constant learning experience when you start picking your friends' brains that don't live in the same community as you. So
Yeah.
You're an
Absolutely.
inspiration.
Oh,
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
that's the
Oh,
little inscription I believe you wrote in his copy of the book.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So Charles sent me that photo and the photo of the two of you together. So we
I
just sort
love
of, yeah, we sort of got together and said, okay, what if we surprise her? So that's how
that's a
this
surprise.
came to be.
Where's the cake?
I
Where's
know.
the cake? Was there supposed to be a cake? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. There's no cake.
No, how are we gonna eat it?
That's true. Next
We'll
time,
have
what?
Crazy.
some wonderful dessert when I come.
100%,
Yeah.
and I'm coming too, by the way, just so you know.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
Listen, I'm
definitely,
inviting myself.
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah. And I'll have finished the book by then, and I'll probably, need a lot of, consultation and therapy. So
Well, Stone was supposed to be here last week. Stone was supposed to be here last week,
yeah, she's
but I
telling us.
guess
Yeah.
with all the festivals right now, the tickets were like $1 million. So
They really
you
are.
know,
Are they
Tickets,
yeah.
really? Wow.
they're
Well,
crazy.
there was Grand Prix weekend. There was
Yes.
comedy started the jazz festival. So
Yeah, the
they're
jazz
just
festival started.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
hopefully we won't do it in 11-degree weather, but
Yeah, my God. My God. And I
yeah,
needed to be here, for the launch of the book. And, I just had stuff to do. And this is kind of like I had to say yes to the work, but I really wanted to come and have fun. But we're going to do that. We're
yeah.
definitely going to do
wonderful. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Ah, and Bobby Short Shorts wants to come as well. Okay. That's from Jenny DeHame. Yeah. Absolutely. So, Stone, I have a question that I ask every guest from this season, and I'm going to throw it at you as well. If you could turn back the time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell her?
I would say, baby, everything's going to be all right.
I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
Perfect.
I tell her that all the time. And I tell her that I love her and I respect her for the decisions that she made with what she had at the time. And I have grown and I can make even better decisions for us now. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. You've been an absolute inspiration. I could see that from the comments that a lot of people were very moved by many of the things that you said. And guys, really, if you read her books, 'cause I did not read the first one, I'm halfway through the second one. It is beautiful, emotional, many nuggets of wisdom. And I highly, highly recommend it. And you can go on her website. Fernanda, if you can bring it up again, the banner. Um, and it's also in my description, the link to the website as well. So that, you can find the book there. There it is. Yeah, you could purchase it there as well. Thank you so much. And Charles, you have something coming up in August. Do you want to tell us about it? Do you have a live show?
Yes, I'm playing 2 nights for Fest,
Oh,
and
wonderful.
this year they moved it up to downtown, so it's at
Okay.
Quartier des Spectacles,
Oh, I
and
didn't know
it's
that. That's good to know. Okay.
August 19. I will be performing at the 3 o'clock, and August 20, which is Saturday, will be at 6. So be there. It's an acoustic set with another friend of mine, guitar player, and I'm happy because it's downtown. So it's Italian week and it's downtown, so it'll just make it a little different this year.
That's amazing. We will
Thank
we
you.
will definitely, definitely be there, Fernando and I. And I encourage everyone to come out and then see that show as well because Charles is an amazing talent. So you don't want to miss it. Stone, thank you again so very much. I think I'm in love with you.
Oh,
Charles, I've always been in love with you. Thank you to everyone who's
You guys
tuning
are
in.
awesome.
you guys,
Thanks for having me too for
Of
the surprise
course.
cameo.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
This had to happen.
that's
I
a
yeah,
love it.
wonderful surprise.
Yeah.
and virtual hugs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll speak soon. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay.
Esther, thank you so much for
Oh,
having me.
absolutely my pleasure. If you could just say 2 minutes after the show and we will just have an after show little chat. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a great show. We will be back in September. We are taking the summer off. You guys have been amazing. I absolutely love this show, and I can't wait to be back in September and sit back and shoot the breeze. Ciao for now.